Hey guys, Professor Bell, Comic Book University, and Godzilla versus Spider-Man. It says issue number 1, but technically this is part 3. This is the third part. It could be completely standalone, while at the same time, it is the third of Godzilla versus Fantastic Four, then Godzilla versus Hulk, and now it's Godzilla coming up against Spider-Man. Spider-Man trying to get these hands up against freaking Godzilla. It's hysterical. He's acting like Jey Uso, coming up talking about, yeah, I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. He ain't going to get nothing, all right? He could yeet all he wants. He's about to get yeeted the F out of there, and a lot of bad things happen to this dude, but it's okay. It's all right. Freaking, this was hysterical, especially the idea that freaking Jey Uso Spider-Man had to at one point give a Superman punch to Godzilla just in order to even get the dude's attention. Oh crap. I am loving this comic book. These are all individual worlds, right? All individual what-if comic books. Each and every one of these issues are standalone, even though they will oftentimes mention the other books in the series. It's okay. You don't need to read any of them except the one or the ones that you want to. We the ones. I'm in a very Uzi kind of mood right now. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's the Sami Zayn beard. If you guys aren't getting my WWE references, shame on you, but it's okay. It's all good. This was absolutely amazing. Guys, again, you can read any of these individual issues by themselves and don't worry about what it says about the others. That's just them trying to get you to read another comic book. But this is a world, each issue is a world in and of itself on its own, because every single one of these comic books are based on when the Fantastic Four was like in the prime or a certain storyline era. Case in point, the Fantastic Four one was back when the, right after Galactus had attacked. This one is right after Spider-Man came home from Battleworld after just getting his suit in Secret Wars issue number 8. By the way, Nick Lowe, the editor on this comic book, you are the freaking man, and he typically is. Like, he is an amazing editor who simply does not get anywhere near enough credit for all the amazing things that he does, including editor's notes in this one. Guys, it is not just a nostalgia thing for me, although I readily admit that it is very nostalgic for me, but it makes the comic book more than, I mean, there's so much good stuff that happens in this comic book, and just having the little editor's notes in here, along with the narrator's boxes, this comic book absolutely blew me away in every single way, shape, and form, and I cannot get enough of just how good this comic book was. There are no negatives whatsoever in this comic book. I'm going to argue best comic book I have read in years. And it's a freaking what if. But of course it is. And I'm not mad at it at all. This was the best comic I have read in forever. And it makes me feel like I'm 14 again, going into Comics Plus, rest in peace, in freaking New Jersey, looking for just something on the wall, something good. And the guy behind the freaking counter always talking about, hey, don't touch the comics. When I was an adult, he was okay with it. He's like, no, adults buy. He's like, and you bought too. But you were still a kid and I still had to worry about you. I'm like, no, it's cool. I get it, you know? Oh my God. I love this comic book. There is nothing whatsoever negative about this comic book. Absolutely zero. And I might actually get a no prize out of this one. I'm just saying, first credit where credit's due. Before we go on, I should say, Joe Kelly is the writer, Nick Bradshaw doing the artistry, Rachel Rosenberg doing the color art, and VC's Joe Caramagna doing the letters. Bradshaw and Rosenberg did the cover also. You see what I mean? Even the right people were doing the cover, the main cover of the comic book. Zero to complain about with this comic book. And again, Nick freaking Lowe, how often do I talk about the editor, right? But the guy just blew me away. We start off with Peter Parker in the black suit going up against the Shocker. Real fun stuff. And then all of a sudden, Godzilla strikes. And they're like, oh, peace? Treaty? And he ties up Shocker. Because he's a joke. He's a joke of a villain. He was especially made a joke of a villain in the Ultimate Universe. But that transfers over to here so perfectly. I'm good with it. So he's a joke here and he gets tied up. That's all right. We're coming back to the shocker in a hot minute. Mary Jane just gets back from Hollywood for some reason, like at this exact perfectly wrong time. And she reveals that she knew that Peter Parker was Spider-Man the whole time. Venom hasn't appeared yet, so she's not scared of the black suit just yet. Black Cat shows up, calls him lover. Mary Jane's like, excuse me? And they've got the icy words underneath, and they're both being rude to each other over and over. And it's hysterical. Like, it's Spider-Man alone, and he's being quippy, and I'm dying at how funny this is. But then having these two, Black Cat and Mary Jane, throughout the comic book, every 2 or 3 pages, saying something rude to each other, right? Oh my God, I'm dying reading this stuff. Plus the text boxes, everything in this comic book is great. At one point, they go and they pull out, I think it's Denise Williams, One Hit Wonder. Let's hear it for the boy. And I start singing with the comic book. How many comic books have a freaking soundtrack? That's what I'm talking about. Holy crap. This was fantastic. My son is going to call me in a couple of moments. Can't do too much about that. Actually, maybe I can. I can quiet it a little bit. But holy crap, dude, I'm dying at how good this comic book was. Zero complaints about this at all whatsoever. Freaking loving this book. Yeah, I was able to silence that. Awesome. Anyway, this book, man. Oh my God, I understand. Look, I understand. Marvel can't just make everything amazing like like we like to think that they can. All right? They can't. It's impossible to make every book good. All right? And I'm sure there are people who hated this book, which is completely anathema to what I'm talking about here, right? It's okay. It's okay. But this shows that there are some people who can still pull out a great comic book. This didn't even have to be that old. It felt fun to read. I don't need to see what part 2 is going to happen. There were 2 fake things in here that were supposed to happen. Oh, by the way, as far as the no prize is concerned, there's exactly 1 panel of a version of Spider-Man who they say they're going to give a no prize to for the first person who comes up with a great idea for that. May I make the recommendation? The Scrappy Sideline Man. I said what I got. I'm playing off of the football jersey and all that stuff. I was thinking of something with like the hijab that he was wearing. I decided against it. All right. But the Scrappy Sideline Man, if anybody who had anything to do with the creation of this comic book is willing to put in the comments that I receive a no prize, I will love you forever and ever, at least until my death, because this is in fact a bucket list thing for me. So absolutely, this was fantastic. Guys, I cannot stress enough, this was the perfect comic book. And I'm afraid to read any more. I know that just today, the next, what's it called? The Godzilla versus X-Men came out. I'm worried to even read it. I don't think it's going to be that good, not compared to this. And I love the idea that a comic book could come out that even though there's another part coming out, I'm scared to read it. I'm scared to read it, right? Don't be scared, but I'm scared because I'm worried it's not going to be as good. It's not going to measure up and I'm just going to be hating on it. And I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm kind of praying that I'm wrong. But I'll tell you what, I do have this comic book. Fantastic in every way imaginable. Guys, go out. Grab this comic book, support this comic book, make sure that people understand this is the kind of comic book that we want to see, because it is. That's all for me. I, again, cannot praise this comic book enough. Love you guys. I'll talk to you later. More of this. Like the video, buy the comic book. Watch an ad, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.